I'm not going to sit here and claim I'm a professional. I never once have. So for you to act like I am, I mean, I appreciate that you actually hold me in such high regards, but don't hold me in such high regards. I will make mistakes, and I'm okay with that. The question is whether or not you're going to be okay with that. And if you're not going to be okay with that, please leave. Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. I wanted to go ahead and restart all of this because I feel like I just kind of was too rushed to get stuff out this morning, and I overlooked a lot of things. So I thought what would be a fair thing to do would be to go to the official website. I got the password now, take a look at it, go through everything. Obviously, do I still have my personal thoughts about the $2,000? Obviously I do. I think there's going to be a lot of people who will. But I will say, knowing what I know now after Ginger hopped on into my live stream and corrected me on a lot of things, went further into detail about some of the things and why the price is where it is, I was a little bit more lenient to the 2000. Now, I'm not saying it's like the most ideal price, and as a matter of fact, even she kind of hinted at like they understand why some people might be put off by that price. So let's go ahead and take a look at their official website. Got a lot of people upset with me. I want to correct myself properly and go look at the official website. People were even saying things along the lines of, you shouldn't be spreading misinformation. It's bad. It's good that you corrected yourself, but it's bad. Look, I'm only human. I'm not a professional by any means. I only give my personal thoughts and opinions about things. That's all I do. That's all I will do. I am not a professional. I never claimed to be a professional. So if you are taking it to that extent seriously, just know that this is not going to be the first mistake, and it's certainly not going to be the last. So be ready for that. And if that bothers you, the door's right there. I'm not going to keep you here. I'm not going to explain myself anymore. I made a mistake. It's not $2,000 per person. It's $2,000 per group. So it's up to you whether or not you want to find some friends to go halves and halves or whatever have you to pay for the full tuition of $2,000. But if you go by yourself, it's still going to be $2,000. So you will have the option to stay on the property, stay the complete night. You'll have the option to use their equipment if you want to use it. You don't have to, but they do offer a lot more than your typical paranormal location. Okay, there is that you have to take into acknowledgement. Let's go ahead and take a look at the website and go from there. For the first time in history, overnight bookings available September 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, which apparently is something else that the article got wrong. They said September 6th would be the day when the bookings would be available. Only 100 nights are guaranteed. Bookings are marked as sold out until September 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time when they go on sale. This method allows us to show you the availability dates and pricing in advance of them going on sale. This is a private residence. Access is only granted to approved overnight guests who have properly booked online. There are no tours of the property, home, or museum. We are complying with all city and state regulations to ensure the integrity and respect of the property and neighborhood. A top-of-the-line fence and 24/7 security system is in place. Trespassing will be taken very seriously. And then you got a very neat look at the actual website here. Looks pretty good. You got pictures of the Warrens, everything, the living room, just pictures of the house, where they've been and where they've stood. Inside the Occult Museum, basement of home. That music kind of scared me. Former home of Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warren home is one of the most legendary locations in paranormal history. For decades, this quiet New England house was where Ed and Lorraine Warren, the world's most famous ghost hunters, lived, worked, and stored the artifacts from their most terrifying cases. Here is where Ed, a self-taught demonologist, and his wife Lorraine, a clairvoyant medium, allegedly, founded the New England Society for Psychic Research in 1952 and soon after created the Warren Occult Museum. Together, they investigated more than 1,000 cases ranging from possessions to poltergeists and became household names in supernatural research. Their work inspired countless books and films, including The Conjuring universe, which grew into the most successful horror franchises of all time. I want you to remember that, because this is true. It did, regardless if it was true or not. It grew into one of the most successful horror franchises of all time. Warren Occult Museum and Passageway. Attached to the home via the haunted passageway was the Warren Occult Museum, a room that contains a collection of more than 700 haunted and demonic artifacts gathered across decades of investigations. Items such as Annabelle, Shadow Doll, Conjuring Mirror, Satanic Idol, Vampire's Coffin, Devil Made Me Do It, Dinosaur, Death Boards, Peggy the Doll. Peggy the Doll? Is that the museum, or is this a different Peggy the Doll? black magic weapons, devil's sword, human skulls, fire dolls, satanic panic item, voodoo dolls, shrunken head, and countless display cases filled with nearly 1,000 more items used in witchcraft, occult, and dark practices, each with its own story. The museum also houses 75 of Ed Warren's paintings, as well as his office with the original paranormal investigation devices used on their most infamous cases, many of which have never been used before. Looks like the Bates house right there. Okay, come stay with us and be the first in history. For the first time in history, the home and office of legendary paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren will be available for overnight stays in the paranormal investigations and for paranormal investigations. Overnight stays will include supervised access to the Warren's Occult Museum, which houses the most infamous haunted items in the world, including Annabelle, all of which will be conjured with the largest collection of the ghost hunting equipment in existence, available for use by our guests, as we aim to make this the greatest paranormal research location ever. Nope, we got Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson standing in the home, I'm assuming, with Lorraine. Overnight stays include private access of entire home, 5:30 p.m. check-in and 1:30 p.m. check-out, 20 hours in total. Keep that in mind, right there. Private access of entire home, so you will have access to the entirety of the home. The people I can see being the most excited about this are going to be the people who are big-time Conjuring fans. So the people who love the films are going to be probably the most excited about this. I'm a fan of the Conjuring films myself, so there's a part of me that's like, it's kind of neat. However, I do view this entire situation now differently because of what I know about the real Warrens. Okay, but that is 20 hours. That's a lot of time in that house. 4 hours of access to the museum room with all the artifacts, 9:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m., access to museum under supervision from experienced staff, spiritual protective measures, and history provided by staff. All rules and guidelines must be followed. 4 hours of access to museum room with all artifacts, 9:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m., access to museum under supervision from experienced staff, spiritual protective measures, and history provided by staff. All rules and guidelines must be followed. So you will have the option to do probably like a prayer or have some sort of item given to you if you want for protective reasons. If you are very much into the spirit world, if you're very superstitious, you might want to, who knows. They're just doing it for a comfort thing, really. Full paranormal investigations and filming kit. Toolkit worth roughly $25,000 with over 50 different devices, night vision body cameras, and held-out hand cameras provided. So you will also have the option to use very expensive ghost hunting equipment. There were some people in the comments section saying that it's probably going to be the stuff they used before and it's going to be used and yada yada yada. I don't know. I have not seen the equipment myself, so I could not tell you if it was stuff Elton had used prior. I don't know. So we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Basic essentials and accommodations provided. Holy water, bedding, towels, bathroom essentials, drinks, and snacks. I'm not sure if holy water is like, a basic essential, but I think they might have put that in as a joke. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they're actually very serious. Who knows? I mean, we are dealing with this place. Oh, wow. Is that a real picture of all of the equipment? I mean, if that's the case, you guys are fucking... Holy shit. That's a lot of equipment. Vision camera... Okay, all paranormal investigation equipment and night vision cameras included with overnight stay. An expensive ghost hunting kit worth more than $25,000 will be available for use during the overnight stay. 2 night vision Canon. Oh, yeah, this is it. This is the stuff you'll be having access to. Now, I'll be honest, though, if you got nothing and you're worried about not having equipment, they basically got you covered, because that's a lot of shit. Magnetic fleshlights, dowsing rod, spirit watch. I don't believe in the dowsing rods. There's a lot of stuff in here I obviously think is a little bit meh, but November 1st, Warren House overnight rental, $2,299. It's a lot of fucking money. Truthfully, I don't even think the Conjuring House offered as much as you're going to be getting here. You got all that equipment. You got 20 hours of access to the actual house. Now, look, granted, if you are somebody who does not believe in the Warrens and has no interest, you're not going to give a shit. You also got to keep in mind, too, that we're not just dealing with an average Airbnb. And it's not really an Airbnb. It's kind of been treated like an Airbnb. They did their research on Airbnbs to kind of get an idea of what people are paying for the most expensive or what people pay for those things. And they do pay a lot of money for Airbnbs. This isn't like your typical place you're just going to stay the night at. This is a place that inspired, again, one of the most beloved horror movie franchises of all time. So there is that. If you're not interested in the actual paranormal side of it and you're just like, I love the movies, well, then you might be interested in this just at some point. Now, obviously, it was said by Ginger that at some point, when the items are taken out of the museum and placed in another museum instead of being on the same property, the price is probably going to go down. So you probably could wait and just hold off if you guys want to do this. Yes, when I first heard the $2,000, I was dumbfounded. I was like, they really are going to go that Conjuring House route, and in which case that is insane. But at the same time, you're also getting way more hours than you would at the Conjuring House. Who can stay overnight? 8 people maximum per night. Registered guests only. Valid ID required to enter property. Minimum age to book stays overnight is 18 years old. Minors must be joined by their parents or legal guardian for the entire duration of the stay, no exceptions. Any guest, regardless of age, counts towards maximum occupancy. Rental rate does not charge regardless of amount of people, whether sold or a group of 8, it's the same. Check in and check out. Basic house information, sleeping, showering, amenities. Home is fully furnished, and all the areas in the home will be accessible to overnight guests, including kitchen, living room, first floor, Warren's bedroom, first floor den, first floor Halloween room, basement Lorraine's office, basement doll room in the basement, and apartment second floor. More areas may be added in the future. The Occult Museum and Haunted Passageway access is only under a set 4-hour time period and under supervision. Home has brand new beds that can accommodate to up to 8 guests and 2 queen beds, 2 twin beds, and 1 twin bunk bed. All bedding provided. Yes, you can sleep normally in the beds, unlike other locations. 3 of the beds are Murphy-style beds that fold out when needed. We have done this to maximize the area for paranormal investigations, and for those that may not need all beds in the home, 2 full bathrooms, towels, and basic essential provided. Yes, you can shower and utilize the bathrooms normally. Property is equipped with a top-of-the-line security system to monitor all the points of the entry and safety and eliminate trespassing, private and secure parking on property. Property and House Museum rules. Only authorized guests are allowed on property. The exterior area of the property is monitored by a top-tier security system for safety and to ensure the only registered guests are on site to monitor for trespassers. All guests must park in the designated areas at the end of the driveway. No street parking allowed. 0 tolerance for candle burning, incense, vaping, or smoking, or any fire of any kind. The fire department will arrive, and you will be heavily fined and removed from the property. So if you smoke, maybe not smoke on the property. Maybe actually get away from the property first and then smoke. But you can't be on the property and smoking, even vaping. So anything that could resolve in a fire, yeah, maybe not do it. Outside fire pit is not allowed for use. No pets allowed. As of 10 p.m., guests will be asked to no longer utilize the front yard or porch, as our aim is to be respectful as possible to the neighbors. The home is in a residential area, and respecting their peace and quiet is mandatory. The backyard and back porch is okay to use, although we ask outside noise to be kept at a minimum just in case. Any violations of the guidelines can result in the immediate termination of your overnight stay. So I think that's a given, though. You obviously, again, you do not want fucking kids running up and down inside this building, screaming their heads off, going nuts, because it is surrounded by a lot of people. I mean, even Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson acknowledged this in an interview. Like, I don't think people are going to want, people screaming and freaking out all the time next door. Any violations of the guidelines can result in immediate termination of your overnight stay. Spiritual and physical protection measures, which I think we already went ahead and went over. So basically, they give you holy water, probably rosaries, protective items, prayer cards, and more. Occult Museum and Haunted Passageway access, ghost hunting and camera equipment usage, filming and social media use and regulations. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay. Filming and social media rules and regulations. No live streams without explicit permission prior to visit. So if you want to go live during this stay, you obviously need to get a hold of somebody, probably one of the tour guides, to get a hold of either Elton or somebody else who's in charge, to ask if it's okay. No filming for network television without explicit permission prior to visit. No sponsored content advertisement can be filmed on the property or with the property in the background under any circumstances. Filming for personal use in social media is allowed, but please note all content of any length posted on social media platform must be reviewed and approved by our team to ensure factual accuracy and respectful intent towards the home, museum, and the Warrens. I was talking to Ginger about this, and I wanted to know if people are to have disagreements about the Warrens, like if they do not believe the Warrens were legit, and they mention this throughout their video, are they not going to be able to post their video? And she said that no, you're going to be allowed to post your video. We do not want to control the narrative. So that's what I was told. That's what she came off like. So I'm just going to assume that's what she obviously meant. She does not want people to feel like they have to feel a certain way if they go here. That's not what it's about. They are more interested in wanting to make sure people get the factual accuracy of the history correct when they make their videos. If they decide to go into the history of the location, they want to make sure everything is just factually right. And obviously they probably don't want people to disrespect any of the artifacts or items. Maybe they don't want nobody grabbing the stuff inside the house and throwing it, and they don't want none of that, so they'll ask them to remove that because they don't want to like encourage people to start doing shit like that. So that's probably what they're meaning. But when I asked Ginger, she did say that it's okay to have a difference of opinion. So that was pretty reassuring to hear from her, because that was one of my biggest concerns. It's like, you're asking for this much money and you're going to tell them that they can't post their video if they have a disagreement about the warrants. And that is not what they intended. They do not want you to think that you cannot have a difference of opinion and not be able to post your video, or feel like you have to go in here feeling a certain way. So that's at least good to know. 3 minutes to 30 minutes to $200 total. 30 minutes to about 60 minutes is $300 total. An hour to 2 hour long video is about $400 total. 2 hours to 4 hours is about $500 total, which I guess is kind of understandable, because you're kind of asking these guys to sit down and review your footage. And to be honest, a 4-hour video is a long time to be sitting down. It is truly a privilege and an honor to be able to call Ed and Lorraine's home your own for the night, and to be given full access to the Warren Occult Museum with all the items in it. It is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You know, I kind of view every place, though, as like an honor when I go and investigate. I felt that way about the Belair house. When I was asked to go over there and I did an investigation, nothing happened, but I was honored that I got to go. So, I mean, I wouldn't be honored because of Ed and Lorraine Warren specifically. I would be honored because to get an opportunity to go there, or just to film there, is how I would view any location I went to. Our mission is to preserve their legacy and historical accuracy while maintaining the utmost respect for their home, museum, and artifacts. So there you kind of have it. That was more of an insight into their website and what they all meant. Yeah, when Ginger jumped into my live stream, I wanted to clarify some things here too, and even she kind of acknowledged that $2,000 for one person is extreme. So, like, don't do that if you can help it. Like, get some people to go with. If you're going to do it, at least right now. If you're going to do it right now, or anytime soon, then definitely make sure you get a group of friends together and do it that way. Don't pay that full price by yourself. Please don't. And again, you got to keep in mind too, there's no guarantee you're going to go into this place and catch anything. That's another thing. When you go to these locations and they're asking for as much money as they are, you got to take that risk. You got to go in there and jack shit happens. So that's a risk you take with any location. Now, to be fair on their part, yes, certain Airbnbs, when you're able to stay the full night, they charge up the ass, okay? And this is not your typical location. This is a place that, I'm going to say it again, regardless of what you think of the Warrens, if they did in fact fake everything, which I personally believe they did, place did inspire one of the most popular horror franchises of all time. So there you have it, Maniacs. I decided to go over the website because I wanted to know everything in full detail about what they were talking about and what they meant. Now, obviously, Ginger did hop onto the live stream earlier, which did help out tremendously, understand more of what was going on and what they were thinking when making the price. It made more sense to have their insight. Obviously, you know, going off of one article alone just was not enough for me to understand in complete detail what they were trying to insinuate and what they were going for. It really helped out a lot. Even people who were in there wanted to know more. She was very classy about it. She was very cool. She interacted with pretty much everybody. It was actually a nice interaction. It was very respectful, very classy, and very peaceful. So I appreciate that a lot. And everybody could kind of understand where they're coming from more. And she corrected some people. So there were some people in the comments, you know, saying certain things like, hey, you know, what about this? What about this? And she would be like, actually, this is what we were thinking. Because some people just didn't understand. Like, I didn't understand everything. So that, I know there are going to be people in the comment section saying, Jordan, you got to stop fucking up so much. Guys, fucking up is all a part of it. I'm not going to sit here and claim I'm a professional. I never once have. So for you to act like I am, I mean, I appreciate that you actually hold me in such high regards, but don't. Don't hold me in such high regards. I will make mistakes, and I'm okay with that. The question is whether or not you're going to be okay with that. And if you're not going to be okay with that, please leave. That's all it is. Even she was unaware that there was an article posted about the situation, and she said she was going to check it out. And when she did go and check it out, she already said they already got one thing wrong. I was like, gotcha. So I'm not going to blame the article entirely, but they did leave out a lot that would have helped me understand more. Ginger helped out personally. I appreciate that. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. I'm sure there's still going to be a lot of stuff you're going to disagree with. I myself certainly disagree with some of the stuff myself, so I completely understand. However, I'm curious to know your opinions down below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and thank you all for watching.
Reactions are nothing new. However, there is one man on a mission who wants to prove the world a fakery. He used to follow all these paranormal shows. Now he's had enough. He is done. Dark sources throwing down, coming after all these paranormal clowns. He is watching, not letting them get away. All these fakers, they're gonna have to pay. Triceratops is throwing down, coming after all these paranormal clowns. He's watching, not letting get away. All these fake stars tearing the fakers apart. He with his heart, no one dare tell him catch me yet, because Jacob's had